No, Ken could stay here
as much as he wants to, right? But
as
she can
much
only
as
stay
he
with
wants
him
to. Right.
a
She
couple
is
months.
limited.
Y'all heard Gypsy Rose baby daddy is very, very sick? They don't know what's going on with him?
She's telling everybody what gypsies do this month. Gypsy and Ken broke up. Da 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 da. They got in a fight or whatever the stuff she decides to pull out her ass.
Is Gypsy trying to tell him, if you don't want to be with me, I'm going to make sure nobody could be with you, Bookie. Kristy is setting up the stage. Ciao. Miss
Gypsy-Rose Blanted's lies are catching up with her, from fake charity claims to fabricating a wedding, and even trying to silence her critics. This isn't the story of a victim seeking redemption. This is the story of manipulation, deceit, and a carefully orchestrated web of control. And now, with her stepmother Kristy Blanchard confirming the breakup she tried to hide, Gypsy's house of cards is tumbling down. Because today, we're exploring the truth she doesn't want you to hear. Let's dive right into what Kristy Blanchard, Gypsy's stepmother, recently exposed. For months, rumors have swirled about the state of Gypsy's relationship with her fiancé Ken Urker. You may have seen the countless posts online speculating about a breakup, but for the longest time, Kristy herself adamantly denied those rumors. She tried to protect the image of a united couple, portraying Ken and Gypsy as two people deeply in love and preparing for a bright future together. But as we've now learned, that was far from the truth. Kristy eventually confirmed that Gypsy and Ken had been separated for nearly 2 months before the news broke. That's right. And yet, during that time, both Gypsy and Kristy worked hard to maintain the illusion of a perfect relationship. What was so important about hiding this breakup? It's a question we need to consider because it goes straight to the heart of how Gypsy manipulates her public image.
Y'all heard Gypsy Rose baby daddy is very, very sick? They don't know what's going on with him? Say what? What, Bookie? But check this out. Remember I told y'all Gypsy Rose and Ken broke up? And Kristy tried to deny it, but then she accidentally told? Well, she dropped a few more nuggets. I'm gonna need y'all to listen to this.
Now, let's talk about Kristy's slip-up. While trying to deny the breakup initially, Kristy unintentionally revealed more than she likely intended. She admitted that she and Gypsy had worked to keep quiet for weeks, a detail that only makes the situation more suspicious. Why the secrecy? And why did it take someone named Brian, a person Kristy accuses of being jealous of their relationship, to blow the lead off this story? Kristy claims Brian was acting out of spite, but the real question is, what was Gypsy trying to hide? Think about it. Gypsy has spent years carefully curating how the public perceives her. Every move, every statement is calculated to elicit sympathy or admiration. The breakup with Ken, if revealed too soon, might have jeopardized the narrative Gypsy was building. A narrative of redemption, stability, and a new chapter in her life. Think about it. Gypsy has spent years carefully curating how the public perceives her. Every move, every statement is calculated to elicit sympathy or admiration. The breakup with Ken, if revealed too soon, might have jeopardized the narrative Gypsy was building, a narrative of redemption, stability, and a new chapter in her life. But by keeping the breakup under wraps, Gypsy ensured that her image remained intact as long as possible. And here's where it gets even more interesting. While Kristy may have initially tried to protect Gypsy by denying the breakup, her eventual confirmation added the whole new layer to this story. By admitting that Gypsy and Ken were no longer together and hadn't been for quite some time, Kristy unintentionally exposed the cracks in the facade.
We are not commenting on it, period. I told the media from the last interview that from then on out, their personal life is personal. They haven't been together for almost 2 months. We've managed to keep it quiet for that long. But the a-hole, Brian, took it upon himself to say something. I'm not really sure who Brian is, but yeah. Gypsy didn't ask him to say anything. He's been jealous of their relationship from the get-go. I'm asking you to please not give any comments. I guess just submit the text. And I know you don't like him, but he's been really, and I mean really sick. He has been having doctor's appointment out of the ASS lately. They can't figure out what's wrong. They did an ultrasound on his lower abdomen. Whatever is going on with him isn't good. Chill. Are these people trying to set Ken up? Y'all, is Gypsy trying to tell him, if you don't want to be with me, I'm going to make sure nobody can be with you, Bookie? Kristy is setting up the stage. Child.
Suddenly, Gypsy's carefully crafted story didn't seem so perfect anymore. The breakup wasn't just a personal matter. It became evidence of yet another manipulation, another attempt to control the narrative. But it doesn't stop there. Let's look at the details Kristy revealed about Ken's condition. According to her, Ken has been really sick lately, with doctors scrambling to figure out what's wrong. He's reportedly been undergoing numerous tests and medical appointments, and the situation doesn't look good. Why has Gypsy been so silent about Ken's health struggles? Could it be that she's deliberately distancing herself from him now that the relationship is over? Or is she using his illness as a part of a broader strategy to shift public sympathy back onto herself?
Told you. Someone right. And all of a sudden he's really sick. He wasn't sick before he got to Louisiana. And he's only been sick lately? I don't know, y'all. I don't know, child. I don't know, y'all.
A member is Kristy's plea to the media and others not to comment on the breakup. She said she wanted to keep things personal. But let's be honest, when has Gypsy ever been shy about airing her personal life? From TikTok clapbacks to fabricated charity claims, Gypsy has always thrived on attention. So why is this breakup different? Why this sudden need for privacy? It's hard not to see this as another calculated move, another way for Gypsy to control how her story is told. By keeping the breakup quiet, she assured that her public image remained untarnished, at least for a little while. And by the time the truth came out, she likely hoped that people would either lose interest or blame someone else, like Brian, for the leak. But here's the thing, Kristy's confirmation doesn't just reveal the breakup. It also shines a light on Gypsy's pattern of manipulation. This isn't just about one failed relationship. It's about the lengths Gypsy is willing to go to maintain her image. It's a pattern we've seen time and time again, and it raises serious questions about who Gypsy really is and what she's truly capable of. Now, let's really dissect this alleged wedding. Gypsy-Rose Blanchard's wedding to Ken Urker is supposedly set for March 1st, 2025. At first glance, it seems like the kind of storybook ending people expect. A chance for Gypsy to rebuild her life and find happiness after years of controversy.
Gypsy-Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker scheduled to be married March 1st, 2025, only 89 days from now.
But the deeper you dig, the less this wedding feels like a celebration of love and the more it resembles something else entirely. What immediately caught people's attention were the wedding registries. Not just 1 or 2 registries, but 7, all listed on Target alone. You had that right, 7 separate registries for a single wedding. And here's where it gets really suspicious. Almost every single time has already been purchased. If you're planning a wedding, this might sound like a dream come true. But if you're a skeptic, it raises a red flag. Who needs 7 registries for one wedding? And who's buying all these gifts? This isn't just a logistical question, it's a moral one.
Now, of course, this is allegedly for entertainment purposes only, and us nobodies really have no idea what's going on. However, there are registries everywhere, all over the place online, all with the same dates. I counted 7 on Target alone. And guys, almost everything on all of these registries all across the web show to be purchased already. The grift never stops. It never stops. Now, of course, I don't know the location. I would have to assume that they're going to do it somewhere in Louisiana. I did see one that said Corpus Christi, Texas, which is kind of far-fetched to me because it seems pretty far from even Ken's family, who all lives up in Dallas. But we shall see. We shall see. I find it pretty interesting that they would get married so quickly after the baby is born.
If Gypsy and Ken are no longer together, as Kristy Blanchard herself confirmed, then why are these registries still active? Is this just an oversight? Or is someone deliberately leaving them open to continue racking in gifts and money? And if Ken is no longer in the picture, who exactly is benefiting from this wedding frenzy? Critics have labeled this as a grift, a deliberate attempt to capitalize on public goodwill and attention. It's not hard to see why. Gypsy has built a reputation for controlling how she's perceived, and this registry situation seems like another extension of that. The registries aren't just about plates and blenders, they're about maintaining the narrative. A narrative that says, look at me, I am moving forward, I am building a new life. But is that narrative real? Or is it just another layer of deception? Let's not forget the timing. This wedding announcement comes on the heels of Kristy confirming the breakup and Ken's mysterious illness. It's hard not to wonder if this wedding is less about love and more about damage control, an attempt to shift the focus away from the cracks in Gypsy's story. Then there's a rushed timeline. The wedding is set for March 1st, just 89 days away. Combine that with the fact that Gypsy and Ken recently welcomed a baby, and you're left with a lot of unanswered questions. Why the rush? Is this about securing the public sympathy? Is it about distracting from the breakup? Or is it simply a way to keep the gifts and the narrative flowing? The idea of a wedding registry scam isn't just speculation. It fits into a broader pattern of behavior. Gypsy has repeatedly shown a knack for leveraging situations to her advantage. This wedding and everything surrounding it feels like another chapter in that same story. Now, let's move on to Gypsy's increasingly controversial online presence. After her release from prison, Gypsy claimed she wanted to live a quiet, private life. She said she was ready to put the past behind her and focus on her future, but actions speak louder than words.
So gypsy-rose isn't going to post personal information anymore. Isn't that what she said? But is that really true? No, it's not. Which isn't far-fetched to believe she's lying because, well, it's gypsy-rose. I don't think the girl knows how to tell the truth. But she is still posting private information. She's posting by proxy. She's posting through other people. And again, still pushing her nonsense and her story.
And Gypsy's actions tell a very different story. Despite her supposed desire for privacy, Gypsy has become incredibly active on TikTok, and this isn't just casual scrolling or posting harmless videos. Gypsy is using TikTok to defend herself, clap back at critics, and engage in feuds with content creators. One of her most vocal critics, Nina, has been at the center of this storm. Nina recently exposed Gypsy for fabricating a story about donating Habitat for Humanity. Gypsy claimed she made a generous donation, but Nina discovered there was no record of it. Gypsy reportedly asked Habitat for Humanity if she could record the donation process. When they declined, Gypsy decided not to donate at all.
Obviously was not very happy, so she had to clap back. And there's two comments that Pink Pony Club responded to, and I need y'all to see this. This first one, homegirl says she made a donation to the Habitat for Humanity, which is not true, but let's spin a block on it. That because they wouldn't allow her to volunteer, she sent an email after asking if she could make a generous donation. Since when do you actually have to ask to make a donation on the Habitat for Humanity's site? All you have to do is go in there and put in your information. But no, she wanted this to be recorded for the internet. And obviously she is not too happy at the fact that it wasn't recorded, so she decided not to donate.
Think about that for a second. Why would someone need to record their donation? Donations are supposed to be about helping others, not about creating a spectacle. Gypsy's actions suggest she wasn't interested in giving back. This isn't just disappointment, it's telling. It paints a picture of someone who is more focused on appearances than genuine action, and it raises a bigger question. How much of what Gypsy does is real? How much is calculated?
We've looked through the Habitat for Humanity public donations and seen that she did not donate, and she's lied over and over again, right? Well, now she commented that her mom forced her to be in a wheelchair at the Universal Studios at her big age, when she was sitting in that wheelchair, where we all saw it. And I also spoke to somebody that knew Dee Dee, and they said that Dee Dee was very scared of Gypsy. That's why she had padlocks on her medicine cabinet, because Gypsy used to steal her meds.
But the Habitat for Humanity story is just the tip of the iceberg. Gypsy has also been accused of trying to silence her critics. Content creators like Nina and others have alleged that Gypsy has attempted to have their accounts taken down, claiming they are spreading lies or misinformation. These creators aren't making blameless accusations, they are presenting receipts, pulling from Gypsy's own words and actions. If Gypsy has nothing to hide, why go to such lengths to suppress criticism? Why not address these claims directly and transparently? Instead, she seems more interested in controlling the narrative, just as she's done in the past. And then there's Hathorn. Gypsy isn't coming across as someone who's genuinely hurt by these accusations. She's coming across as defensive, combative, and unwilling to take accountability. Rather than owning up to her mistakes or setting the record straight, she's doubling down, insisting that everyone else is wrong. This kind of behavior isn't new. It's part of a pattern. From the Habitat for Humanity debacle to her attempts to silence critique, Gypsy seems to be repeating the same tactics that have defined her story for years. But here's the difference. People are catching on. The true crime and drama communities are not letting her off the hook, and creators like Nina are ensuring that the truth comes to light. Gypsy's online behavior isn't just a series of bad decisions. It's a window into her mindset. It shows us that she's still deeply invested in controlling how the world sees her, even if that means bending the truth or silencing dissent. And while she may think she's winning the battle, the growing criticism suggests she's losing the war. Kristy Blanchard's revelations have done more than just confirm Gypsy's breakup with Ken. They have pulled back the curtain on a much bigger picture. By sharing details about Ken's health and the timeline of their separation, Kristy has inadvertently exposed Gypsy's ongoing manipulation of her circumstances and relationship. It raises questions. Is this purely coincidental, or could Gypsy's involvement in Ken's life be a contributing factor to his stress or well-being? If we connect the dots, Kristy's comments about keeping the breakup hidden for months suggest that Gypsy might have been more focused on maintaining her public image than supporting her supposedly sick fiancé. But there's another layer here. Why did Gypsy and Kristy try so hard to keep the breakup quiet? Breakups happen. It's not unusual, and it doesn't have to be a scandal. Unless, of course, there is something bigger at stake. Could it be that Gypsy was worried about how the breakup would affect her narrative of redemption and moving on with her life? Was she protecting Ken, or was she protecting herself? If there is one thing Gypsy seems determined to do, it's control the narrative. And what better way to do that than silencing the voices of those who challenge her? Gypsy's entire story revolves around being silenced and controlled by others in her past. Yet now, she's the one wielding control, attempting to dictate who gets to speak and what gets to be said. And let's not forget the irony here. Gypsy's entire story revolves around her being silenced and controlled by others in her past. Yet now, she's the one wielding control, attempting to dictate who gets to speak and what gets to be said. It's a stark contradiction that raises serious questions about her motivations and character. The inconsistencies in Gypsy's story, her online behavior, and the revelations from Kristy all point to one thing: a woman who is still deeply invested in controlling how the world sees her, whether it's through fabricated acts of charity, a rushed wedding, or attempts to silence critiques. Gypsy seems unwilling or unable to let go of the tactics that have defined her story. So, what are we to make of all this? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is not the innocent victim she once portrayed herself to be. While her past might have garnered sympathy, her present actions tell a different story. The lies, manipulation, and contradictions continue to pile up, leaving us to wonder: has Gypsy truly changed, or is she simply getting better at hiding the truth? As Kristy herself has shown, even those closest to Gypsy are starting to see through the facade. And while the full truth may never be known, one thing is clear: Gypsy's story is far from over. What do you think? Are these recent actions just a string of bad decisions, or do they point to a deeper pattern of manipulation? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Stay tuned for more true crime stories where we uncover the truths others shy away from.